Welcome to another 4 Against Darkness video. This is going to be part 3 of our 4 Against Darkness series. If you're coming straight from the second part and you're wondering why I'm doing soft spoken instead of whispering, the short version is that I'm just having some trouble whispering lately for long periods of time. And when I try to record whispering videos, it doesn't really work out very well. So I'm taking a bit of a break to do some soft-spoken videos with some occasional whispering in them, just to give my voice a little bit of a break from whispering. And we will eventually go back to whispering videos if people would prefer that, but for now we're going to be doing soft-spoken for a little bit. But enough about that. Let's talk about 4 Against Darkness. In our last 2 videos, we played the first beginner adventure called The Witch's Cave, which was a randomly generated adventure where you use dice to generate rooms and content inside the rooms, and you draw them on a map as you explore. However, there's another type of 4 Against Darkness adventure, and these are pre-written adventures. These adventures come with maps. You don't draw them yourself as you play. Instead, the map is already made for you. Each room has a number, and when you enter a room, you go and you look up the paragraph number that matches the room, and the paragraph will tell you what is in that room. And sometimes it will be monsters, sometimes it will be treasure or traps. It's all the same kind of obstacles you would find in a randomly generated dungeon, except they've all been planned out in advance. Now, I have played this dungeon before on my own, but I don't really remember much of what was in the rooms. I remember, I think, one of the more difficult monster encounters. That one kind of stuck with me, but I don't remember what room it's in, and I won't spoil what it is. So we'll just come across it when we see it. To get started, let's read the introductory text here. This introductory scenario for beginner characters shows how pre-written adventures work and will guide you so you learn the rules. You should be able to play it in under an hour. We'll see about that. I'm a little slow, so... Use core classes: Wizard, Warrior, Barbarian, Halfling, Dwarf, Rogue, Cleric, Elf. We are playing Dwarf, Rogue, Cleric, and Elf. That is our party. We're using the same party as the last adventure. This is a scripted scenario, an adventure with a specific plot. In a scripted scenario, you move across a map with numbered areas, consulting the corresponding paragraph whenever you enter a new area. You don't roll random events and encounters on table. They are already written into the story. The scenario ends when you return to town. It is up to you whether you want to explore every room or stop once you feel you have discovered enough. Keep a list of all the foes you defeat. In the randomly generated dungeon, we kept that list on the same page that we were drawing the map, but we will not be drawing a map in this scenario, so we'll be recording the encounters on this sheet of paper. You've heard that the Alchemist's Guild paid 20 gold pieces for a small, shining purple crystal that an adventurer named Goral found on a goblin bandit he had slain. The goblin had attacked him in the woods near the old abandoned silver mines. Goral claimed to know where these crystals come from and said he could get more. Other adventurers have also heard the news and are already thinking of searching for the crystals themselves. You gather your gear and start planning your mission. You would like to speak with Goral and ask him some questions, but he is nowhere to be found. Perhaps he has already gone to the mines. There are several courses of action you can take, each leading to a different paragraph. It is important that you do not read ahead. make your decision and read only the corresponding section. So our three options are the guild. Go to the Alchemist's Guild and ask for information. There is some red tape to deal with and it may take some time, but they might tell you something. After all, it is in their interest to obtain more crystals. Go to paragraph 17 if we want to choose that option. Option B. Ask around town about Goral through your contacts in the underworld. You need to know more about him before starting this adventure. Getting reliable information will probably cost some coins, and you'll have better chances if you have a rogue in the party, as rogues are best at navigating the seedier parts of town and interacting with informers. We go to paragraph 22 for that option. And option C, the mines. You head straight for the abandoned mines and begin searching for clues there before other adventurers hear about them. You own an old map of the mines. That's this, I guess. So exploring them should not be difficult. It will only take a couple of hours on foot to reach the area. To go to the abandoned mines, read paragraph 1 below. Now, like I said, I have played this adventure before, so I do have a little bit of foresight. And I think I remember the first time I picked A, and it was not the right choice. So this time, I'm going to go with B. Although, maybe after the adventure, we'll take a look at A, and we'll just see what would have happened if we picked that. So, for B, we're going to ask around town about Goral. Let's go to paragraph number 22. So we're right here. You begin scouring the seedy part of town, buying drinks and asking questions about Goral. Spend 1d3 GP on drinks and bribes. If you have no money to spend, you receive no information. Well, Gormak has plenty of gold from the last dungeon. Or at least plenty enough for this. So, we roll 1d3. 5, that means 3. So Lormak is going to lose 3 gold. So he goes down to 8 GP. If you pay for drinks, roll 1d6, adding +1 for each rogue in your group. So we roll and we add 1 because we have Rayan in our party, our rogue. We roll 3 + 1 is 4. We gain no information. Oh well, we tried. Now return to paragraph 1 and make another choice. Okay. Okay, so we go to paragraph 1. It has been years since you last visited the part of the forest that grows around the old abandoned mines. The landscape has changed greatly. Vegetation has spread everywhere. The old paths are now choked with brambles and bushes, and what should have been a pleasant walk through the woods turns into a difficult trek through dense forest, taking up most of the morning. By the time you finally reach the abandoned silver mines, 3 hours later, you are covered in cuts and bruises. Entering the dark mouth of the cave, you must light a lantern. Decide your marching order by assigning each PC a number from 1 to 4. Positions 1 and 2 are called the front rank, while positions 3 and 4 are the rear. So, we've already decided all this. We already have our party order, and Rayan is the one carrying our lantern. She's in the front, in position 2. This PC must use one hand to hold it. They cannot use that hand to cast spells, hold a shield, or wield a weapon. In any case, the lantern bearer cannot use a bow, sling, or a two-handed melee weapon. Now look at a map of the mines. You will see that each tile has a corresponding number. Whenever you enter an area, read the paragraph with the matched number. Backtracking. Every time you return to an area that you have already visited, roll 1d6. On a result of 1, someone surprises you from behind. Roll on the wandering monsters of the abandoned mine table to determine who attacks you. Doors shown on the map are unlocked unless the text states otherwise. Begin in tile 1. The entrance is dark and, after a few steps, the room narrows into a corridor. You may search this room for something useful or a clue. If you do so, go to paragraph 12. After resolving that paragraph, choose your direction and move to the corresponding numbered section. So I think we are going to search. So let's look for paragraph 12. This is a search roll. Roll 1d6. You rolled a 2. The room is empty. You may repeat this search procedure every time you are told you are in an empty room. Now return to paragraph 1 and make another choice. Well, we're just going to go, so we can choose to go in 5, 3, 2, or 4. I think we're going to go in 2, just because I kind of want to get this room out of the way before we choose a major direction to move in. That's my logic anyways. We're probably going to end up exploring the whole map, so. Probably would have been easier to staple these together or something like that. Maybe I should have done that. We're at number 2. As you enter this room, an old beam collapses on the 2 PCs at the front of the marching order. If one of them is a rogue, roll 1d6 and add their level. If the result is 3 or higher, you pass the save and shout warning. The beam falls, but no one is hurt. If you roll a 1 or 2, the save fails and both front rank characters suffer 1 damage each. Alright, so Rayan is in the front, so we roll 1d6 plus 2. And we passed. We pass the save and shout a warning. The beams fall, but everyone manages to avoid it, so we don't take any damage. If your party includes an elf or a wizard, you may search among the debris. Go to paragraph 13. Then return to paragraph 1 and choose another direction you have not yet taken. So let's search the debris. Right here. This is a search roll. We roll a 4. We find nothing of interest. So far, no luck on these search rolls. So, which direction do we want to go in next? I'm going to put both of these over here because we're not going to, actually I'll just move them. We're not going to need either of these sheets anymore. So, let's go down this path over here on the right. So we're going to go to room number 4. From the entrance, the light of your lantern glints on a pile of golden vases and dishes. They're dusty, but look valuable. If your party includes a dwarf, you might learn more, since dwarves can smell gold. Go to paragraph 16. Otherwise, you may simply enter the room, or you may turn back and choose another route. So we're going to to go to 16 because we have a dwarf in the party. Our lead character, Lormac, is a dwarf. So right here, number 16, the dwarf smells no gold. The vases and dishes are cheap imitations. You may still choose to enter the room and take them, or go back and choose another path. I think I want to go in because there seems to be more back here. So, even if the vases and dishes aren't really worth anything, I still just want to explore. So let's go to paragraph 18. When you enter, the PC leading the marching order must roll 2 saves against a level 4 trap. If the PC is a rogue, add +L. If an elf or a halfling, add +1. Well, the front PC in our marching order is Lormac, a dwarf, so he has to roll and does not get a bonus. For each failed save, the PC is struck by a spear fired from a mechanical trap and suffers 1 damage. So let's see, here's 1. Fails, so he takes 1 damage. And 2, he fails again, so he takes 2 damage. So here we go. Our first time seeing the battle board in this video for Lormac takes 2 hits. He does have an ability that lets him avoid damage, but I think it only works in combat encounters, not against traps. Suddenly, 4 fierce goblins emerge from the shadows, waving their scimitars and, speaking in a crude imitation of the trade tongue, order you to drop all your belongings and leave, or they will kill you. You may give in to their demands, in which case you lose all equipment except the lantern, or fight them. Well, we're obviously going to fight them. We're not going to give them all our stuff. So here we go. You charge at the goblins. There are 4 of them. Each PC must attack a different goblin. They are level 3 minions and have 1 life each. Because they are level 3, a PC needs an attack roll of 3 or higher to kill a goblin. Dwarves attack goblins at +1. Do they? Oh right, they do. I forgot about that. And the rest of this stuff is all just explaining how combat works, but we already know all that stuff, so we're just gonna skip all that. So these are level 3 enemies. There are 4 of them. And we need to roll 3 or higher to attack, but a bunch of our characters have bonuses, so they do not even need to roll 3. Raya needs to roll 4 or higher because she gets -1 because she's using a dagger. Okay. So let's start with Lormac. Lormac rolls a 2. Gets a +2 bonus, 1 from his level and 1 from his 2-handed battle axe. So he takes out 1 of the goblins. Next up is Rayan. She rolls a 4. -1 is 3, which is enough to take out 1 of the goblins. Next up is Tanith. Tanith rolls a 6. Which is, even if it wasn't, we'll just roll it because it's an explosion, but it was enough to kill the last 2 goblins anyways. So 11 + 2 is 13. Way overkill to kill the last 2 goblins. And I actually forgot, we were at 6 XP last time, and we add 1 more. So, pretty easy combat encounter. Definitely worth fighting instead of giving them all our equipment. And it's set to write down all the enemies we fought. So this was number 4. We fought goblins times 4. just cross them out because we defeated them. The vases and dishes in the room are nearly worthless. The whole pile can be sold for 2 GP. I guess we'll do that. And I'm not even going to bother like writing down the dishes and then selling them later in town. I'm just going to add 2 GP to Lormac. You may now pass through the unlocked door to the east, go to paragraph 11, or choose another direction on the map. Let's go to paragraph 11. This room appears empty. You may search it more thoroughly if you wish. Go to paragraph 28, turn back and choose another path, or open the door on the east wall. Let's search the room. Paragraph 28. This is a search roll. Roll 1d6. We rolled a 3. We found nothing once again. No luck with any of these search rolls. Let's go to paragraph 10. So we're going in this area right here. And it's right here. The corridor ends in an orc's lair. If you have already defeated an orc as a wandering monster, the room is empty and searching it is pointless. If you have not, you will find him here. And we've got a boss monster here. Hungry Orc, level 5 boss monster. 2 attacks per turn, 5 life, standard morale. If you have food to offer and you decide not to attack him immediately, you may roll a 2 in 6 chance to convince him to accept your offer and leave the room. If you fail to bribe him, he attacks first. If you manage to bribe or defeat the orc, make 1 XP roll with one of your PCs. I actually did not realize you get the XP even if you bribe them. I will keep that in mind in future adventures. I've generally avoided bribing monsters in adventures because I always wanted to get the XP, but if I know that bribing them still gets you your XP, that's definitely more tempting. Unfortunately, I don't have any food to bribe him with, so we're gonna have to fight him. So, level 5 and 5 life. Two attacks per turn. So we're gonna start off, we're gonna attack him first. Lormac is going to start. He rolls a 1. 1 is an automatic failure. Next is Rain. Rain rolls a 5, but gets -1 because of her light weapon, so she does not deal any damage, unfortunately. Now it's Tanith's turn. Tanith rolls a 6. That is an explosion. We get to roll again. 7 plus 2 is 9. So Tanith deals 1 damage to the orc. Finally, Tobias, our cleric, he rolls a 2. Plus 2 is not enough to hit. So only Tanith managed to land a hit that round. Now, he's going to attack 2 of our party members, and I believe that if there are not enough attacks to attack your whole party, you get to choose who is attacked. So we're going to have Tanith and Tobias take the attacks since they have the most health. So Tanith and Tobias roll for defense. They have to roll a 5 or a 6 in order to defend against a level 5 monster. And Tanith rolls a 5, plus 1 is enough to defend. Tobias rolls a 2, which is not enough to defend, and takes 1 damage. So Tobias is now down to 6 HP. Let's start again. We'll start with Lormac again. Lormac once again rolls a 1. Lormac flailing and fumbling over there, trying to hit this orc. So that was a 6. I'm probably going to have to lower the sound because it actually hit the board and was very loud. But that's an explosion, so we roll again. Another 6, so that's 12 so far. And 4, so 16. Minus 1 is 15. Rayan really getting in there, picking up Lormac's slack, dealing 3 damage. And now the orc does a morale roll. If it rolls a 1 through 3, it runs away. It rolls a 2. So we win the encounter, the orc runs away, and we get an XP roll for it. We're going to give that to Lormac, our only remaining level 1 character. And again, in case you're new to this, the way XP rolls work, the character has to roll above their current level, and if they are successful, they go up a level. So Lormac has to roll anything but a 1. And he rolls a 4, so he levels up. We now have all 4 of our party members at level 2. When Lormac levels up, he gets 1 extra HP. He gets 1 added to his attack power with melee weapons. Also, I just remembered, we fought goblins before, and I forgot to give Lormac his +1 bonus when fighting against goblins. I'll try to remember the next time we fight against goblins. And let's just get Lormac's character sheet here. And we'll update his level. There is no exit from this room. Backtrack and explore a new area. So we will do that. So we have to backtrack. We go from 10 to 11. We roll for wandering monsters. We roll a 4. No wandering monsters. Let's go back to 4. No wandering monsters. And now from 4 we can go to 3 or 5. I think let's go to 5. So right here we have 5. At the foot of a wall you see an old lidless wooden crate filled with purple crystals. Dust and debris cover the floor, but the crystals look recently cleaned and polished. If you have a dwarf in the party, go to paragraph 23. To inspect the crate, choose a PC to do so, and go to paragraph 19. Otherwise, you may continue through the door to the north, or turn back and take another direction. So let's go to paragraph 23 because we have a dwarf. The dwarf realizes that these crystals have little real value. They look attractive, but they are far too fragile to be used for any fine jewelry. The loot obtainable from the entire crate is between 6 and 36 GP. Roll 1d6 times 1d6 to determine the amount. And the crystals weigh the equivalent of 100 GP. If you want to inspect the crate, go to paragraph 19. Otherwise, you may continue through the northern door or backtrack and choose another direction. So let's determine the worth of the crystals. It's 1d6 times 1d6. 4 times 6 is 18. No, it's not. It's 24. So 24 gold worth of crystals. I think we may as well go for it. So let's go to paragraph 19. Oh, we have to choose a PC to inspect the crate. Let's have Rayan do it, just in case it's trapped or something. As the PC inspects the crate, what looks like a piece of rope whips around the hero's neck, tightening. It's the strand of a giant spider web. The PC must make a defense roll against this level 4 attack. If the PC has a shield, the PC benefits from their shield bonus, but gains none from armor. Rogues add +L to the roll. If the roll fails, the PC is strangled, losing 1 life, and lifted toward the darkness of the ceiling. So we roll versus level 4, +2 for the rogue. 3 plus 2 is 5. That's enough, so the rogue manages to defend against the attack. A goblin spider, a vile creature of chaos, resembling a hairy goblin with thin limbs, 6 arms and 2 legs, oh god, has ambushed you. Okay, well, I forgot to mark. This is a major foe, so I always mark them with a star and cross them out. And this was 5. So 5, we've got a goblin spider. And this was a major foe, right? A weird monster. Okay. So, level 4, 4 life. Standard morale. It automatically damages a victim trapped in its web. It will attempt to grab a PC until it succeeds. If the goblin spider has captured a PC, it will remain there on the ceiling. While it stays up there, hang on, there's more to read. While it stays up there, only the PC caught in its web can attack it in melee. The others may target the foe only with ranged attacks or spells. PCs who do not already have a ranged weapon in hand must spend 1 turn swapping weapons and readying bows or slings. Each turn, the goblin spider continues to strangle the captured PC, automatically inflicting 1 damage. If the goblin spider has not yet trapped anyone, it tries to capture a random PC. If this opponent is too dangerous, you may flee. When you do, the goblin spider makes 1 last attempt to capture a random PC. It will not pursue the party beyond this room. If you arrived here from room 1, there is no door between you and the foe, so your party is considered fleeing. If you arrived from room 9 and wish to remove there, we did not, so I'm just going to skip this. So it looks like it doesn't go to the ceiling until it captures anyone, so we can fight it in melee until it captures a player character, and then we have to fight it with range. But for the first turn, I think we get to attack it in melee. So, let's go. Now, I think think I'm just going to have Tanith try to end this one early, because I don't want anyone to get captured. So we're going to have Tanith cast Sleep. And spellcasting actions happen before melee attacks. So the way it works is that spellcasting and ranged attack actions go first, and then melee comes after. So we will start by casting Sleep. Now the way Sleep works, you basically roll a spellcasting roll against the enemy's level. If it passes, then you put the enemy to sleep. If it is a group of minor foes, you then make another roll to see how many of them fall asleep. If it's a major foe, they just fall asleep automatically, and a sleep is basically an instant KO, because once they're asleep, you can either just kill them, or you can subdue them, and we're just going to kill this creepy goblin spider if we manage to put it to sleep. So here we go. We're trying to roll at least a 2, because Tanith adds his level to his spellcasting rolls. And we did, we roll a 2, plus 2 is 4, which is enough to put the enemy to sleep, instantly ending the encounter. Sleep is pretty strong, as you can imagine, but many enemies are immune to it, and if it fails, then you basically get nothing out of it, and you just waste a spell slot for nothing. Actually, Tanith has an ability called Spellwoven, where he can cast one spell without using a spell slot, once per adventure, and I think I'm actually going to use that now. So instead of taking away the sleep spell slot, I think we're going to use his Spellwoven. I should probably put a circle next to this so I know if I've used it or not. Okay, so we ended that encounter pretty quick. I didn't want to end up with anyone getting strangled and then having to fight at range. That sounded really annoying. So I'm glad we just ended that one right away. And since it's a weird monster, I believe we get an XP roll. Now it actually does not say here that you get an XP roll, but it is a weird monster, and weird monsters are major foes, and you always get an XP roll after defeating a major foe. So we're going to give the XP roll to, I think, Tanith, to get him another spell slot. So we rolled 4, which is enough to level up. Tanith goes up to level 3. He gets an extra bonus added to his attack because he gets plus level to his attack rolls. Okay. Now, that encounter went a lot cleaner than it did on my first time doing this adventure. I definitely remember someone got strangled and I think almost died on my first time playing this. So that went a lot better. Let's also cross off the goblin spider. And we're right here right now, so we'll move up into 9. A band of 6 goblins is hiding in this room. When you enter, they try to ambush you, attacking from the sides. Save versus their ambush tactic. Level 5, add the L of your highest level PC to the roll. So Tanith is level 3, so we save +3 against level 5. 4 plus 3, that's enough. On a success, their tactic fails and you strike first. On a failure, they strike first, but we did not fail. Now these are level 4 goblins this time. They're going to be a little tougher. Level 4, and there are 6 of them. Okay. Now I kind of want to use sleep again, just because there's a lot. 6 is a lot, and level 4 is kind of high. Rayan is going to have trouble hitting them. Tanith and Lormac, I think, will be able to take out at least one each. Tobias might be able to take one out. Oh, let's not waste our sleep. Let's just fight. I think we'll do okay. Lormac rolls a 5, plus 3 is 8, plus an additional 1 is 9, but that plus 1 doesn't actually make a difference. Regardless, we managed to take out 2 of the goblins. Did any of our... I'm trying to remember if any of our characters had a milestone for defeating goblins. No. Rayan does have a milestone for killing orcs, but we did not actually kill the orc, it ran away. If I had remembered that Rayan had that milestone, I might have had her take one last swing at the orc as it was fleeing, because I think you are allowed to do that. But, regardless, it's too late for that now. It's time for Rayan to attack. She rolls a 6. Plus 4 is 10. Minus 1 is 9, so she also takes out 2. What was I worried about? Our party has this handled. They roll for morale. Do they have standard morale? Yes, they do. Standard morale. So they roll a 1 through 3. They run. They roll a 4, so they will be staying to fight. So next is Tanith's turn. Tanith has to kill 2 more. And he rolls a 6, which is enough to probably take, yeah, okay, 10. Plus 3 is 13, which is way overkill. We kill the last 2 goblins, and we get 1/10 XP for killing minor foes, and it looks like we actually get to roll on the treasure table for this one. So now I don't think this actually came with a treasure table. I think we roll on the standard dungeon treasure table. Let me just double check. There is no treasure table with this, is there? There's a wandering monster table, but no treasure, which means I have to get the standard treasure table and roll on that. Give me 1 second. I don't know why I said give me 1 second. I was just going to cut the time I spent getting this anyways, but there we go. This is my package for the normal dungeon stuff. So when you're playing randomly generated dungeons, you use some of this stuff. But we only need this table for this beginner dungeon. So we roll 1 d6 GP, get the most boring treasure. And we get, but at least we get 6. We get 6 GP. And as usual, we'll give it to Lormac, but he's gonna have to share later. And it looks like once we're done with that encounter, we can just move to the next room, which is going to be 6. So let's check number 6. It's right here. This corridor is empty. You may search it by rolling 1d6 minus 1 because you're in a corridor. I didn't actually know you roll minus 1 to search rolls in corridors. Maybe that's only a rule for this specific dungeon. I don't know. I'll have to look it up when we play normal dungeons. So, we roll a 6, which we find 1 clue. 6 minus 1. When you have 3 clues, read paragraph 14. Well, we'll see if we get 3. Every one of our search rolls has been bad, so this is the first one we were actually successful on. We're not going to go to 3 because presumably after we explore 7 and 8, we're going to have to go back through 3 on the way back anyways. So let's ignore 3 for now. We'll go into 7 and then we'll explore 8. And then we'll have explored the whole dungeon, and we'll just make our way back out. So let's go into 7. Ooh, more goblins. There are 4 goblins in this room. From their ragged clothes and filthy weapons, you guess they are bandits. They look hostile, but perhaps you can reason with them. To attack immediately, go to paragraph 24. To see whether they can be negotiated with, go to paragraph 25. Alright, Ran. Rayan is our negotiator. She negotiated with Malethia. Now she's going to try to negotiate with these goblins. You wait to see the goblins' reaction. At the end of each foe entry, there is a reaction table. Roll 1d6 on the reaction table to determine what they will do. Sometimes bribing a foe lets you conserve resources. Losing coins is better than wasting precious spells, scrolls, or life. The goblin's reaction table is as follows. 1, flee. 2 to 4, bribe. 5 to 6, fight. So, let's see. We roll a 1, they flee. If you roll 1, they flee, and you may strike them as they run. I don't see any reason to do that. I mean, I guess if we killed one, we would get 1/10 of an XP roll, but I don't see any reason to attack goblins that are just fleeing. That seems kind of dishonorable. I think we're gonna let these guys go. Yeah, I don't think our party would attack frightened of fleeing goblins. So, after this encounter, you must backtrack and explore another room. Okay. So let's backtrack to 6. We roll for wandering monsters. We roll 4, no wandering monsters, and let's go explore the final room, number 8. A grimy man in his 40s lies on a straw mattress. Beside him are the remains of a meal, a sheathed short sword, and a couple empty bottles. When you enter the room, you may try not to wake him, but only if you have a rogue in the front of your marching order. If you intend to do so, go to paragraph 26. If you cannot or do not wish to act that way, the man awakens. Go to paragraph 27. So let's take advantage of that. We'll try to sneak up on him. We don't know who this guy is or what his motives are. Roll 1d6 against the man's level 3, adding your rogue's L. If the total is 3+, the roll succeeds and the man does not wake. A roll of 1 is always a failure, so even an expert rogue can slip up. If he does not wake, you may disarm and interrogate him. Go to paragraph 27, or kill him in his sleep. I don't think we're going to do that if we don't know what's going on with him. So let's roll the stealth roll. We roll a 1, so we fail. So wait, where did we go? Oh, okay. So we just go to 27. The man wakes, startled by your intrusion. He tells you his name is Goral, and that he is here to look for purple crystals to sell in town. If you let him go, he reveals that a large stash of crystals is in a nearby room. Go to paragraph 9. We've already been there. If you have already visited room 9, go to paragraph 30. Yeah, let's do that. If you are not interested in his offer, you may leave and continue exploring. If you return here later, Goral will no longer be there. Okay, well, let's go to 30. Goral, level 3 boss monster, 3 life, 1 attack per turn, tries to flee. To capture him, you must render him unconscious with a sleep spell or striking him with the flat of your blade, -1 to attack rolls. This type of attack is called subduing. We actually went over that in part 2 when we chose to subdue Malethea instead of killing her. If Goral is still conscious after each of your PCs has attacked once, he escapes and disappears. Whether you capture him or kill him, you may take his treasure, a pouch with 6 GP, and a bag with 1d6 plus 2 purple crystals, each worth half a GP. From this room, you can only return the way you came. So, okay. I'm not going to get the board out for this one because there's not actually going to be a fight. We're just going to try to take him down before he runs away. So, to start off, Tanith will try to cast Sleep. And he fails. 1 is an automatic failure. That's unfortunate. So I hope he has 3 life. We need to roll enough that our other 3 characters can deal at least 3 damage to him while rolling at -1. So we'll start with Lormac. He rolls a 3. -1 is 2, but he gets +3, 2 from his level, 1 from his axe, so that is 5. So that's 1 damage. Next up is Rayan. Rayan rolls a 1, that's an automatic failure. And Tobias. Tobias needs a really good roll here to keep him from running away. And he does not get 1, so Goral unfortunately flees from us, and we don't get to capture him. So unfortunately, Rayan and Tobias, totally not expecting Goral to just instantly turn tail, and we're not ready to take him down. So, here's the conclusion. We don't read the conclusion yet. We have to exit the dungeon. So, we'll start by backtracking from 8 to 6. No wandering monsters. Next we go into 3, and we have not entered 3 yet, so we have to check to see what is in 3. You walk along the corridor and reach a wooden door. Actually, we're coming from the other side, doesn't it? Let's read the whole thing and then we'll determine what happens here. You walk along a corridor and reach a wooden door. The door is sturdy, level 3, and locked. The lock is level 3. You may break it down on a roll of 3+ on 1d6. Barbarians add +L to this roll, or have a rogue pick the lock, also on 3+, adding the rogue's L. If the lock-picking attempt fails, the rogue cannot open the door and you must attempt to bash it down. If you roll 1 while trying to break down the door, the noise attracts foes. Roll on the table on page 144. That's this table. You may also blast the door open with a spell, no roll needed, lightning bolt or fireball will do the trick. 10th does have lightning. We might just use that. If you succeed in entering the room, go to paragraph 15, otherwise return to paragraph 1 and choose another direction you have not taken. So we'll just assume both sides are locked, and we'll do this even though we're coming from the other side. So we're going to have Ryan try to pick the lock, and she is successful. So we managed to go in the room. Let's go to paragraph 15. This storeroom is full of low-quality food, moldy bread, a bucket of foul-smelling beer, and a basket of rotten apples. Strips of dried meat, gnawed by vermin, hang from the ceiling. If you want to eat something, go to paragraph 20, or you may take some food with you and read paragraph 20 later when you decide to eat. To the north is an unlocked door. If you want to go through it, go to paragraph 6. Oh, well, that's where we came from. I guess the door was unlocked. We didn't know that until now. Well, we'll just say that the other door was the unlocked one then. Whichever one we came in was locked and the other one's unlocked. Otherwise, return to paragraph 1 and choose another direction you have not taken yet. So I don't think we're going to eat any of this sketchy food, but we will take a look at paragraph 20 later just to see what would have happened if we chose to eat it. So we're going to backtrack to 1, and if there are no wandering monsters, which there aren't, then we end the adventure. So let's see. You return to town. If you bring back Goral alive, the authorities thank you for capturing a dangerous individual and reward you with 100 GP or 2 blessing scrolls, your choice, plus 5 GP for each goblin or other foe slain during the mission. So we did not capture Goral, so I'm guessing we don't even get the 5 GPs for the goblins. I guess we just get nothing. That's unfortunate. We do get to keep any items we found, which I think was just the worthless fake gold dishes. I don't think we found anything besides that. Well, it wasn't all a waste. We did get a couple XP rolls. We leveled up a couple of our characters, so that's good. But that's it for the adventure. Unfortunately, we weren't able to capture Goral, which leads to a kind of anticlimactic ending, but that's okay. Now, there are a few things I'm curious about. So first let's look at paragraph 20 and see what would have happened if we ate that sketchy food. And then we'll also look at what would have happened if we went to the Alchemist's Guild before we entered the dungeon. So paragraph 20 is roll 1d6 for each PC who ate something. On 1, the PC suffers from food poisoning and has -1 on all attack rolls until they receive a blessing spell. Boy, that would be amazing if in real life you could just cast a spell to get rid of food poisoning. Return to the paragraph you came from and proceed to the next room. So there isn't even any plus sign. It was just a bad idea to eat the food. I mean, I think if you chose to eat that food, you kind of... Well, actually, I guess you could have taken the food and then used it to bribe the hungry orc if you had gone for the food first. So there is that. So the guild was paragraph 17, so let's take a look at that. Discussing delicate matters with someone at the Society of Authorized Alchemical Preparers, Scholars, Transformers, and Resellers, more simply known as the Alchemist's Guild, is a long and tedious process. Roll 2d6, subtracting -1 for each spellcaster in your group, including elves but not clerics. The result is the number of hours you must wait before someone will speak to you. The guild representative, a middle-aged halfling woman named Velusa, tells you they know nothing about a man named Goral, and that no one has recently attempted to sell them purple crystals. From your description, it sounds like a common crystal used in cheap jewelry or ground up as an ingredient in potions to treat digestive ailments in elves. Such crystals cannot be worth more than 1 gold piece, so the rumor you heard must be false. Actually, I just realized that there was one thing that we did get in the dungeon, and that was that we got some crystals. And we learned how much they were worth even. I think it was 20-something gold, but I don't remember how much it was. So what I'm going to do is when I'm watching back the video, I'll just see how much it was, and then I'll add that gold to our characters off screen. But yes, the Alchemist Guild would not have been very good. Actually, I think there's more to this. Okay. If you waited more than 8 hours, write latecomers on your play sheet. Keywords are a way to remember that something happened. The adventure may refer to them later. I don't think the adventure ever referred to that, or at least not anything that we did. You may now choose to visit the abandoned mines or to begin asking questions about this girl around town. Go to paragraph 22. That was it. Oh, I didn't see this art before. This is awesome. This must be the goblin spider. I just went straight to 19. I didn't even look at the picture. That's awesome. Okay. So that's going to be the end of our second adventure. This one was shorter. We were able to get it done in one video instead of having it be a two-parter. Now, I haven't decided what our next 4 Against Darkness video is going to be. We could do a standard dungeon, which is a randomly generated dungeon from the core book. We could do another adventure. We played the 2 adventures from the core book, but there are other adventures you can buy separately. I have 2 of them. We could play one of those. And we could potentially add more supplements to the game, which I might do. I'm going to take a look at the other supplements and see if there's any we want to add for our next video. And next time, I swear I'm going to remember to print out some portraits for our characters. Like I said, I'm probably just going to steal them from a game, maybe Baldur's Gate. But for now, that's going to be it. I hope you enjoyed this 4 Against Darkness adventure. It's a little bit different than the last one. I think I personally prefer the randomly generated dungeons to the pre-written ones, but these are still cool and fun. I definitely appreciate that they have a little bit more of a narrative to them than the randomly generated ones. I hope you'll join us again for our next 4 Against Darkness video, or if you like card games and Solitaire, we play many different Solitaire games on this channel, so consider subscribing if you'd like to see some of that, or if you want to see more 4 Against Darkness. And maybe we'll be trying out some other tabletop games in the future as well. I have had people request some more tabletop games, so we might take a look at some others. I would have to look into them and maybe try them myself first. I played quite a bit of 4 Against Darkness before I decided to try it on the channel, so. But for now, that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great night and sleep well.